Hey guys, how's it going? It's Chloe here with That Done Movie Show, and I wanted to talk about a movie which premiered at Sundance and is now coming to Sundance London, which is like Sundance but smaller and in London. And that film is Michael Showalter's The Big Sick, which it got a lot of hype at Sundance. I think maybe it was the most hyped film, and I can now confirm why, and that is because the film is amazing. Yes. Now, what I find fascinating is that Michael Showalter, he's probably best known for writing alongside David Wayne a bunch of parodies like Wet Hot American Summer, and also They Came Together, which, in my mind, is the most pitch perfect parody of a rom-com. It just nails every single cliche, from the really big obvious ones to just like the nuance of line readings and camera angles and just the little tiniest details. And so here's Michael Showalter making an actual legitimate rom-com and nailing it, avoiding every single cliche that he made fun of in They Came Together. Like, he's schooling Hollywood so hard, and he brought the receipts. Although, that said, you know, this film really does belong to its writers, Kumail Nanjiani and Emily Gordon, because it's really them telling their own love story. You know, it's a rom-com, but it's dealing with a real situation and a real narrative, and there's something incredibly beautiful and very touching about that. And so Nanjiani plays himself, and then Zoe Kazan steps in for his now wife, Emily Gordon. And because the story is real, the obstacles feel real, which I feel like it's an issue with like 90% of rom-coms, because it's such an ingrained part of the narrative that, you know, the lovers get together and then something comes in and breaks them apart, and then they eventually come back together again and everyone goes, yay! But it's usually something so weird and arbitrary, and it just makes both characters seem incredibly selfish and just kind of annoying. It's usually like, oh no, you don't get along with my horse. I guess we're just gonna have to break up. Sorry, our love has died. But with The Big Sick, they're dealing with real and kind of complicated issues. Like, there's the sort of cultural issues surrounding Nanjiani's parents being from Pakistan, and that tradition demands that he marries a Pakistani woman, and you have Emily falling sick very suddenly and very seriously and ending up in hospital. But the very beautiful thing about the writing here is that the emotions behind it all and the strain it puts on the relationship or the connection between two people is something I think is very relatable to a lot of people. This is one of those films that you watch and it just feels so connected to your own life and to your own world and your own reality. And this film also does a really great job of exploring, in a way that maybe I've never seen in a rom-com before, the way that relationships can actually hugely affect the people around the couple. Like, the major role that parents and families can play, and the way they can be really impacted by the decisions that a couple makes. But it's also really funny, and I feel like I need to point that out because otherwise I'm going to make this film sound very heavy and dreary. It's hilarious, and it is especially accurate in how it portrays the comedy scene, because Nanjiani in the film is a comedian, as he is in real life. And as somebody who has been in the green room backstage in a comedy gig many a time before, I can attest to how really it's just, this film is so accurate. Just the way that everybody is always on, and it's always this very strange power play. And the supporting performances in this film are great as well. Aidy Bryant and Bo Burnham. I was particularly pleased to see Bo Burnham because he is my favourite stand-up. I love him so much, and I know he doesn't really even do stand-up anymore, but just very pleased to see him. So yeah, I would totally recommend that you seek out The Big Sick when it comes out, wherever you are in the world. It is not only great for comedy fans, but for anyone who's a little bit of a romantic. It's one of my favourite rom-coms that I've seen for a long, long time. But if you've had a chance to see The Big Sick, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, details down in that description box. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out and talk about movies. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!